Hey everybody! Hey guys!
What's up, gang? Happy Friday. Oh yeah, happy Friday. I don't know what day it is.
It's Friday.
Saturday, Monday, Thursday.
It's
Friday!
Friday. It's Friday.
Fun. We are broadcasting live our final, probably our final live here from our place in Costa Rica. We leave here in just a few days to go back to Southern California, San Diego area, LA, who knows what will beckon from there. Very exciting.
It's a rolling adventure at all times.
Ongoing, unknown, exciting, expansive, joyful journey. And hi, Alicia. Hey, Freya. Good to see you guys. So what are we talking about here?
We wanted to talk today about some stuff we've been playing with because it's been really working, and we thought, what do we want to share today? And really we wanted to talk about changing your state. And this is something that we've been just being more really conscious about and seeing what power we have to change our state in any time. And to not sit in thinking that doesn't serve you or energy that doesn't serve you. For a long time, I described this to Stephen yesterday about how I experience my conditioning or disempowering stories start to come over me as this kind of energetic wave sometime. And the amazing thing is finding and knowing that I have the power to step right out of that, and that I now have the experience of what heightened vibrational state feels like, what being the creator in my life feels like, what being my true self feels like, what being at my higher power feels like, and that I can take steps. I have so many steps and so many experiences now, and so much experience of that state that I can step into it, and that I have lots of tools to do that. And there's so long I didn't realize I could just shift that I could shift that I could move into my higher energetic state. And I know that a lot of people experience that. So we really wanted to take this time to just share some of the things, lots of things that we've been doing that are really helping us both with that.
This really was, I think a really good example of this comes from a coaching call I was doing the other day with a guy I'm helping out. This wonderful guy. Maybe he'll tune in. I don't know. Anyway, we're kind of doing some dating coaching and kind of Ownstream kind of calling work. It's all kind of the same. But anyway, it was so building into your daily practice, and not only in your morning, if you have a morning routine that you do, a structured kind of time in the morning where you kind of prompt yourself for the day, which is a beautiful thing to do, but also just throughout the day, coming up with an image. So a picture in the mind. Let's say that image is, in his case, he's sitting on the beach in Bali, sunset. You can just see it. He's at probably Kuta or Seminyak or one of those amazing beaches, watching the sunset. You can hear the ocean, the beautiful blue water. It's so warm. The sound behind you of maybe a cafe coming to life, and you can just hear the oncoming footsteps of a server bringing you a coconut or a cocktail or something, whatever you would drink for sunset. In our case, it would be a coconut. Just that moment. So if you could see that moment, and if you can feel something from that moment, many people are visual. I feel something really at ease and expansive and luxurious and restful and peaceful, and all these beautiful things that come with just that image alone. And so what he's working on, I don't think he would mind me sharing this, but is just every morning, really tuning into that and really feeling that and feeling that state of being come into your field of energy and becoming just accustomed to it. Just train yourself to come into that state, come into that state, come into that state, come into that state. And then throughout the day, when it seems relevant and maybe you've got a little kind of 2-minute gap between this thing and the next thing, tune into that state. You're walking around. Yesterday I was walking with Sophia and Magic, our dog, up to the soccer field we're going to play. And the whole way there I was just tuning into a state, just training myself. It's like going to the gym. We have to train this mind. If we don't train the mind, it will take over. So this is really about turning the mind into the servant, which is truly what it's designed to do and to be. It's here for a reason. It's part of our creatorship. Let's use it, but we have to train it. This is why Tony Robbins is so important. What he's bringing is helping so many people. It's just about tuning into a state and taking back the power that we've been trained to give away to the world over how we feel. I think that's like a big key. Like we've been told like our state is really about achievement or outcomes or acceptance or validation. That's a big one, particularly for guys who struggle with dating. Like it's at such a toxic degree of needing for validation that we surrender this state, this authorship over our state to the results from things that we largely cannot control. So what we can control is how we feel, and we can take all that power back, and it's so easy. Like there's this sense of, I think people walking this path are really looking to expand and evolve and create something meaningful or live fully expressed. Like it's going to take a while. Okay, I got to hunker down for a few years to really figure this out, or I don't feel good right now, so it's probably going to be a few days until I do feel good. Like that's arbitrary. Like that, if that's relevant, like, okay, fine, but it's arbitrary. That's actually not the case. So the first part of this is like finding something that really works for you. And in the case of my client, and I've been finding this to be helpful to me too, or I wouldn't have shared it with him, but it's like to really tune into an image that just fills you with joy. And I would say that comes packaged with all these dreams and visions for your life what that could be, right? So the vision of him on the beach in Bali includes like he's there working, he's there creating, he's made something that's kind of given him the opportunity to be in that state and to be so fully released of any and all obligation. Like he doesn't have to be anywhere but right there. And like he's like, he's in the moment. Like all these things are just like, they're brought into this image. So like find something like that and just tune into it over and over and over again throughout the day.
It's such a great reminder that this example of his client with the beach scene, like that we all do know at some point in our lives how to feel good. Like there are experiences we have where we feel free, where we feel good, where we feel happy, where we felt alive. You know, all of us have something. So like if you start to get into one of those states where you feel like, oh, I don't know how to get out of this, always remember that you do. Like that is you. You do know that there is a part of you that has experienced your true self, your true power and freedom, whatever word resonates for you, power, freedom, happiness. These are like the things that we all want, you know, and we all have very naturally that have been conditioned out of us. But there'll be a state, maybe you'll find yourself where you just like, you're in the moment, you know, lots of things can bring people into the moment. Nature is a great example of that, you know, or just smiling at your child and like being in that moment playing or being in love. Like we have all these experiences. We have experienced a heightened, freer, alive version of ourselves. So whatever it works for you, as Stephen was saying, to get into that state, that's what's important. I used to think it had to be meditation, for example. Like I had to sit in the morning for a certain amount of time to do that. And for a long time, it was meditation for me. And sometimes it still is. But if it isn't in that moment, it can be other things that bring you into your power and most expressed and alive creator state. What feels good to you? What feels good? And feeling is so important, like getting into the feeling state. So for me too, you know, I in a recent program that I've been in, I started writing like a vision for myself every morning and just like my highest vision of myself. Or sometimes I just visualize it. Sometimes I write it in my journal in the morning, or I visualize it. Every morning I do, here in Costa Rica, yoga out on the lawn. We're going to be living near the beach in California, so I'm hoping to go just walk out to the beach and yoga, which will be amazing, you know. But like getting in that state every morning, like I will say my purpose statement, my calling statement to myself. I will feel the energy. Like when I see my future self, I have a vision of my future self, and I do these visuals that's powerful and bright and light and standing tall and speaking to people and leading and guiding. I just see that person when I stretch my arms out. I feel energy coming from my hands. You know, whatever it is for you. For me, that just gets me into a state of power and purpose and light. And that's what I want. That is an expansive version of myself. Or in the mornings, I've just been like moving my body, like running, walking, like feeling alive. And for me, that's been really, really important lately, is to like move into that state, to get into it. And it's important to know that, like, I was just saying this to one of our clients too, that like, if you feel like you're in like such a low state, you can't get to like high excitement. Like if that doesn't resonate for you at the moment, like get into what will feel better, what will feel good, what would feel good right now. That is like such an important question. Like, and not feel good in an artificial way. Like, yeah, I'm going to like take a bunch of cocaine and go wild. Like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. It's like talking about raising your true self, bring you into your truer self, bring you into your more expressed self? What would bring you just a little closer? It can be anything. You know, we've been listening to high vibe music. We've been dancing with some of our coaching clients at the beginning of a call instead of meditating. Like whatever feels like it brings you into you. I think that's the most important thing, into your highest vision and feeling of yourself. Yeah, so what are kind of your easiest avenues into that state? Some people's visual. Teresa's talking about like visual, but also like physical stuff. Breathing exercises can really work. Tony Robbins has this beautiful kind of priming exercise in the morning that he does. It's 15 minutes, and it's breathing, and it's visualization, it's everything. One thing I've been doing just rather naturally is like, so if I'm driving, like this morning, and I've done this over the years, it's really, really helpful, is I'll this morning I took our daughter to hang out with a friend and play. And on the way there, we sang "Wheels on the Bus." And then that's what she wants to sing all the time.
And then on the way back, I just sort of talked through my day, like, "Oh my God, this day, how exciting! Like, we're going to do this, we're going to create this. This is happening." Just to amp up the appreciation, the gratitude, and the expectation that things are going to be, that everything is going to work out. That it's going to be beautiful. Everything that happens is for my benefit. Everything that happens is absolutely the perfect thing. And so that's kind of like, in terms of like a foundational core belief. This is big kind of ownership, or not ownership, but just using your resources and stepping into a place of really believing that you can manage your state, that that's possible for you, that this is worthwhile, is this foundational core belief that everything that happens, absolutely everything, is for your highest good, that it is perfect, that there is literally not a blade of grass out of place. Everything right now has appeared in such a way as to accelerate and expand and evolve my consciousness, my expression, my theme, my calling in the perfect way. Like, if you can get to that place more and more and more, literally nothing can throw you. Nothing can take you off the rails, because it's this constant framing. It's the ultimate filter of empowerment, that this is perfect, that what's happening right now is perfect. Anurag Gupta, a former guest of ours on the podcast, has this great question which kind of invites this filter, which is, what is this perfect for? Yep. So, you know, and two, so one thing I'll add is that sometimes we can unconsciously be pulled into negative states. Totally fine. I mean, this is not like, we're not going to use this beautiful process, these beautiful tools, as a way to beat up on ourselves and to make matters worse. No, like when I become conscious of my state, so maybe our consciousness kind of comes in and out through the day, when I realize, oh, I'm kind of off right now, then I have free will. Then I can apply these tools and change, and often very, very quickly, into very, very dramatically different states. But if I'm sort of snoozing and kind of just, you know, kind of off the rails a little bit and sort of in this kind of average state, then we just, when we become aware of that, we accept that with love. Like, okay, this is great, fine. What is this perfect for? Like, this is absolutely perfect. I'm training myself. I'm absolutely raising my state more and more. I'm more and more in this enthusiastic, aligned place. So that's like a core thing, to come into a belief that nothing is ever wrong. Nothing is ever out of place. I'm not a victim of anything. That's the key. I'm not a victim ever of anything. So that's at the foundation of this. Like, if I believe that, I can make dramatic, sudden state changes. And this is the law of attraction. This is the creatorship we're talking about here, is being in alignment, being enthusiastic, being inspired, and knowing that that high vibe state creates the most accelerated version of my life path, my timeline, as is possible. My own evolution can happen in the most fluid, flowful way from this state of enthusiasm. So that's what we're talking about. Yes. So if you're not drawn to like some epic creation or building a building or doing that, that's okay. This is not necessarily about kind of creating big expressions in the world. So if you're drawn to that, as we are, great, more power to you. We salute that. That's fine. If that's not, that's okay too. And what this is really about is about accelerating whatever that relevant life path is supposed to appear as.
Yeah, it's highly individual. It's infinitely individual, as we are. Like, we each came here to create something individual to ourselves, and that's why everything. This, what is it perfect for? This is probably the most important tool question you can ask yourself, because it's an entire frame shift on your life. It is entirely true that you created the whole thing. Everything in your life is created for your maximum, fullest knowing and expression. Every single thing. And that can be especially the things, and I've learned this like the hard way, the way it is hard over the past few months, especially the things that are the most triggering. That is why they are there. Like, we have to be triggered, and we've talked about like embracing the shadow before, right? Like, we have to be triggered so that we can see where we are still off perspective, where we are still identified with a small, narrow version of ourselves, where we still have beliefs that are blocking us from expressing our fullest potential. You know, so recently I had, for example, like, I have, Sophia is like an amazing mirror to both of us, of kind of like our deepest fears, like the things, the story about ourselves that we're still holding on to from childhood experience, right? So for me, it is like, she's literally gets on top of me, you know, she'll scream when I talk to other people. Like, so I have this, you know, belief theme in my life that I'm not expressed, that I can't express myself, that other people are going to stop me, you know, whether it is like my father or another authority figure, a boss, Stephen, and now Sophia. And it's like such an amazing creation. It has been perfect. It's been perfect because the theme of my life so far has been like being fully expressed, being fully expressed. And that's what I want other people to experience too. Often our calling is about the theme we have experienced of ourselves in our life, what we most want for ourselves, often what we most want for other people, because we feel the most union with the Creator, the most maximum joy, fullest expression. All the things that we want in our lives come from that alignment, you know. So the triggers that we create, the circumstances that are extremely painful, the things that we think, why would I do this to myself? Like, why would anybody do that? They are there to show you the way, you know. That is the most amazing thing. So that reframe, I think, probably the most powerful thing you can have to change your state, because it puts the power back with you. It's not, because I lived forever, for years, in a victim mentality. Like, I lived in a story of like, you know, pressures that my family had put on me, or like what I had been told to be, and things I believed and did them for years. And the amazing thing is, yes, there's like a time in our early childhood where like we follow our authority figures, but there's so many places beyond that, like every infinite place beyond that, where we have a choice. We have a choice to completely be, we are completely free in every moment. There is no story blocking us. There is no story. We can make that choice at any moment. So seeing it as your creation, seeing it as I created this, it's like, it immediately brings the power back in yourself. So I created it, and I have the choice of how I react to this. So this week, you know, we had less childcare help, and that's a big trigger for me, because what it does is it puts me in a place where like I can't create and express in the way that I'm doing as work, you know, as creation, as service to others beyond Sophia, right? And we were talking about this earlier, like what I could do in that moment is like sit. And, you know, I'm with Sophia, like I could sit and be in this like mental role of like, I never get to do what I want to do. I never get to express myself. I'm never gonna have time for myself, da, 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 da. Or I could stop that right in its tracks and focus on creation right there in the moment, which is what I did with Sophia. Was like, I let her like, just like lead us. And then we were like creating crafts, you know, and I started creating something I wanted to do. And then she was creating something, and then I helped her with what she was creating. And it was like amazing that like, I just took like, okay, what feels good in this moment to me? Like what feels good, and what feels good being with Sophia? And then it was just an ongoing role of like, what can I do to just feel good right now? What can I do to create right now? And it completely shifted the moment.
Yeah, I was thinking when you were talking, like the wound is where the light comes in. And so many people
Totally
experience a kind of transformation and healing, and then just turn around and share that and offer that and convey that to others to help. Because who would know better but someone who's transformed this? The thing that somebody pointed to this, but the other tool we wanted to mention was your physiology, like changing your body. Like this works instantly.
This is big for us right now. Yeah.
Like so many emotional states are tied into our body. We can be somatically, we can hold old memories in our physiology. And so changing your body, like sitting up straight, like really having like empowered posture, a big one. And this was given to me by the movie The Shawshank Redemption, but I kept noticing, this is many years ago when I saw this for the first time, but I kept noticing like Tim Robbins, Andy Dufresne, had this smile on his face throughout the movie of just, it's the smile of confidence. It's not the smile of like cockiness or arrogance or manipulation, or it's just the smile of ease and confidence, as if the universe has my back. Like, I just know it. I'm in a state of knowing that. And so it's very helpful to kind of meditate and realize these deeper states of consciousness, to cement these things, to really implant them further and further and further into my being, into my operation, to how I live. But sometimes it's easier, more immediate, to just sort of physiologically just take on that smile. Just feel that smile come over me and feel my entire state change. Or like I, for years in high school, college, even to this day, can find myself walking and then kind of, if I get into my head, I can just assume a gentle slouch in my posture. And if I catch myself doing that, if I change my state and come into a state like this, or a physiology like this, where I'm like broad-shouldered and open and really expansive, like boom, like my state just changes like that. Like, so I think like using the mind, using the body as tools, not as results, but seeing them as tools, as gateways into higher and higher states of enthusiasm, of alignment, of consciousness, of beingness, of vibration. Let's do that. They're actually really accessible. Like, they're very accessible. You don't have to wait years. You don't have to meditate for hundreds of years or decades or whatever it may be. Like, it's actually doable right now. You can change your state. And so it starts with like identifying like what works for me. Maybe it's listening to music. Maybe it's visualizing, like we were talking earlier. Maybe it's working with the body. Whatever it is, go with it. Don't try to figure it out. Don't spend thousands of dollars or days trying to understand why. It doesn't matter. Just use it. Use it to your advantage. Come into that high vibe state. And then from there, see what wants to move through, what wants to create, what service wants to be offered. Like the time is now. Like, you don't have to wait. You can do it. It's like immediate. So we're so excited by these tools because it's like you don't have to wait. There's literally no need to do that anymore. Like, it's immediate. Like, you can step into it. There's no delays. Like, so much of our society is built around waiting and delaying and
waiting for the perfect time, waiting to be
therapy,
more
Jesus.
enlightened.
Therapy, or like even the path of self-realization can for some people be a longer path than others. Everybody's sort of different in kind of, I think, their readiness for that, their aptitude for that when they come in to this lifetime. Some it's more relevant, some it isn't. Cool. If that's interesting to you, by all means, go for that. That's great. We've been down that road and continue to go down that road. But the state change is something that can be immediate right now. It's not anything that needs to be waited for, which we're clearly a little fired up about.
And it's true again that, like, Bentinho Massaro says this, right, and other spiritual teachers, that you are creating your reality in the opposite if you're choosing it. You're always creating your reality, right? So like, if you're like when I was talking about that when I get that mood descend on me, the old story, like my posture will just kind of go into it. Like, so I can make a choice in that direction, or I can make a choice in this direction. And it can be that simple to shift it. It can be that simple to shift it. Am I going to choose to be, and it's like mental and physical, am I going to choose to feel slouched down upon and pushed down upon, or I'm going to feel that I have power to choose my state? It's amazing. It's amazing. So we are creating it no matter what. You're making a choice one way or the other. So the amazing thing is to be able to know and be empowered that you can choose in the direction of your fuller empowerment and expression.
That's free will. I mean, that's what we've been endowed with. Yeah. We've been programmed to believe otherwise. But and so the more you practice this, the more easy it is, the more intuitive it is, the more constant it is. So it's kind of like going to the gym for your vibration or your state. Like, and it's always available to you. And one extra thing I would say is that whatever the circumstances are that appear in front of you, those are there to remind you of this very simple fact.
Yeah.
I can see this as perfect. I can choose my state. I can visualize something. I can change my physiology, whatever tool works for you, and be in that high vibe state. It's really that simple. And we've been programmed to believe otherwise. April's raising some great questions. I just want to say hi to her.
I know. And that's kind of what I was going to say in response to April, is that yes, in some ways it does seem too easy because I think we do have to practice it. Like, it is that simple and that it is possible at any time. But we have to know, we have to experience what it's like and train ourselves to do it. Because I think because we have trained ourselves in the opposite, many of us have trained ourselves in the opposite grooves, in the opposite directions for many years. We've chosen to see our lives as victim. We've chosen to see that we don't have power. We've chosen to see that we have to live our lives a certain way, whatever. We've grooved it in another direction. So it is true that we have to use our will. We have to use it to practice another state, to practice experiencing another state. What's happened to me over the past 6 months, my experience is that the more that I experience that state, and I've achieved, a higher state through meditation, through visualization, through exercise, through all these ways, I love you, April. The more that I experience that, the more that I am that. The more I experience it, the more I realize that's who I really am. And then it is easier to re-step into it, to have had the experience to do it. It is possible at any time, but a lot of us don't have any experience doing it, so it can feel really far away when it isn't.
Yeah, and underneath all of this, I think one thing you're kind of getting to, and this will be our final thing, but is I think there's value in becoming kind of a vibration snob. That's what I would say. Be a real snob about your vibration, which indicates the need to care enough about it, to be attentive to it, to be awake to it, to be watching it. And I think that's kind of where a lot of people aren't. We're asleep. We just sort of sleepwalk through our lives. We numb out through the media, through our jobs, through our relationships. Everything kind of just knocks us out. And so, to really kind of wake up to my state and be and care about that, pay attention to that moment to moment to moment to moment to moment is a prerequisite, I would say. It's kind of that maybe is sort of the first stage, just be awake, just what's my state right now? 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 I had a teacher of mine years ago who said, the most important question is, what is my state? Because if I'm aware of it and I have all these tools, it's actually very simple to just simply change what I'm viewing, or the fact that I've kind of suddenly determined what's in front of me is wrong, or my physiology isn't supporting me, or what have you. It's actually so easy to change the state once I become aware of it. So it's really about being a vibrational snob. I will not settle for anything outside of this bandwidth. And when I start to get out of that bandwidth, a little warning symbol starts to go off okay, we're getting off course here. This is the emotional guidance system, the voice of my emotional guidance system, I guess. We're getting off course here, maybe course correct. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. There's another way. There's a better way. There's a more empowering way to look at this. Why don't we try that? So anyway, I'm kind of rambling here, but this is sort of how it works. And I think that's a necessary prerequisite. I would also say that having a big vision for what your life could be will make you a vibrational snob. If you really want what you can see is possible for you, and you believe and you know that you create your own reality to the degree that I think we do, or in that game of I create my reality, I see that, I buy that, okay, I'm up with that. Then if I'm in that state and I have a magnificent vision for what my life could become, I will become a vibrational snob, because I know that to realize this, to create this, to serve in this way means be joyful now. Mm-hmm. Be joyful now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thanks for everybody
Carol,
for participating.
Awesome to see you, Carol. Lileia. Love you guys.
From the van.
So maybe. Nice.
From the van.
Her life is an adventure.
We wanted to talk about coaching.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah. No, this is important. Yes. We have, we've been, as we were talking about, we're stepping into a fuller vision for our lives, and the experience we've had in doing the Exit the Matrix coaching group program that we're doing has led us to really want to work with more people. And so we revamped our coaching offers based on some of the experiences we've had there. We have both our full Exit the Matrix package as well as a new one that we created that's about stepping into a new plan for your life. That's a little smaller than that package. Really, really exciting, empowering stuff, guys. And it's all about this. It's all about changing your state and stepping into your full expression, creating a new life for yourself that's from your most inspired state. We know that like so many people are still like living at like this like just dimmed down version of themselves, and it is totally unnecessary. So it's really our passion to like have people wake up and step into and create the fullest expression for their lives, which is what we're doing. So we revamped our coaching offers. We're really excited about that, and we decided to give a holiday discount, which is super fun, until the end of the year. So until December 31st, we discounted our coaching offers. So please check that out. We would love to work with anybody for whom we resonate with, who resonates with us, and who wants to make a change in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, like this is the time of year I think when people begin to take a step back and look into, okay, what's going on here more deeply than maybe other times of the year. We take a step back and sort of appraise and assess and see what's up. And so if you feel that, if you are like, okay, I can do more, I can create more, I'm meant for more, like that, we want you. That's who we want. That's what this discount is for. That's what these programs are for. Like we want to work with people that we can connect with and like full throttle accelerate things forward and blow past all these limiting beliefs and ideas. That's why the coaching offers have been created in the first place, but why we're really offering a nice discount right now to really entice those people in. Like if that's something that you do, you feel called for, 2019, as we do, is going to be a big year of expansion. Huge. And I think you're hearing that a lot across the board. 2018 was about sort of settling down and kind of reappraising, reassessing, and now it's time to really blast off. The earth needs us, folks. I don't know, go to Twitter. That's where it's really most apparent. Like, holy shit, this place is nuts. Like, come on. Like, we really need to step up. Like, this is crazy. Like, me like playing around, dancing around, being dainty about my journey, my process, that's like done. Like we need people to step forward and claim it. So that's what we're about. Like we're claiming it. We want you to claim it. We want to help you claim it. And if we do, I think we can turn this thing around, but we need a lot of people on board. So join us. If that calls out to you, if that excites you, we'll put a little link to the coaching page below this video. But just go to ownstream.co/coaching, and it's all there. Discounts and bright holiday, Christmas red, or whatever holiday you celebrate red, that's on there too. And that'll expire at the end of the year, and we will talk about that more too as things go on.
As we approach the new year, God, I did it for years where like I would set resolutions or like want a certain kind of change, and then I would set out on my own to do that for like a couple weeks and then like forget about it and then have the same resolution the next year. Because often what we really want, that fuller expression version of ourselves, like it is the same thing often over and over again. Like you have something in you that wants to come out, that wants to be expressed. There is a bigger, fuller version of you that is like right there, and so that's our passion to bring that out. Like that's what we want to help you do. And these coaching programs are all about like a very accelerated, very intensive, very supported process where we coach you through a process of change with ongoing resources and community to keep you doing it. Like community is so important to ongoing change. It's really, really, really important because often we make these resolutions, we try it, and then like they just go by the wayside in a box and come up the next year. And anyway, this is why we wanted to do this at this time of year, also because it's the holidays and it's like give yourself a gift. We're doing that for ourselves too, because like what better gift is there than your fullest joy and expression?
Yeah,
so
really.
Yes.
Cool program coming out too at the beginning of the year. We'll talk about that more later.
Yes.
It's way outside the box.
We have something really fun and different
Super
too.
low
We're doing
threshold to
in
entry,
January.
experiential, a lot of fun thing, community.
Big
building.
group community thing.
Yeah, we're looking to get a few hundred people or more into this. So anyway, more on that later. Good stuff, guys. Thank you for your time, man. This is so fun. We always get so lit up doing these live calls. Thanks for engaging with us, everybody, for commenting.
It's fun to see you guys and
being with
engaging.
us.
Yeah,
really, really fun.
Awesome, guys.
We'll see you next time from California.
That's right.
Sunny Southern California.
Bye.
Bye.